Alright gang, welcome to another Autodesk Inventor video. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at creating a drawing with a section view on it, as well as the orthographic views and also a detail view. Okay, but as you can see, I've got a blank drawing space here. I've added a sheet to an existing file. If you're working on one project, it makes it much easier to manage your files if you've got everything linking to that one drawing template. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up to base, and because I've already got this model open here, it automatically selects that for me. Now if I've got 3 or 4 different models open, if I drop this little arrow down, it'll give me a list of what's open at the moment. Yeah. However, if I don't have it open, I can click on that little folder and then go and select it. Now, a little bit of advice for you is to I always find it easier to have my file open when I'm creating the drawings. It just makes it a bit more straightforward if I want to rotate the views, etc. Alright, but I'm going to cancel that because I've already got the file that I'm looking for here. Now, Autodesk Inventor automatically defaults to something called first angle projection. Okay, so what first angle projection does is it sets the views of your object in relation to the front view that we've put on. Okay, so if you're not happy with this front view here, you can actually rotate that round. Okay, I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this next projected view underneath, and then I'm going to come up to the right hand side and I'm going to drop the next projected view down on there. Okay, now I'm going to right click that and I'm going to select OK. Now what I've actually got here is I've got an orthographic projection of that assembly that I've put on. Now this orthographic projection is in what we call first angle projection. Okay, but I'm actually, because we're Europeans, like to look at things a little bit more common sense. We're actually going to rotate, sort of move these views into what we call third angle projection. So we're going to take this view that's on the right and we're going to put it onto the left, and we'll drag that over like so, and then we're going to take this top view, this one underneath, and we're going to put it on top where you'd expect to see it. Alright, and then we can just jiggle these around so we get them in a nice position. Okay, now if you're not happy with these, you can move the positions around. That's something for future reference. We can double click on here and we can change the view to shaded if we want, or we can change the scale. All stuff that you've seen in previous videos. I don't actually want to do that, so I'm just going to deselect that. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a detailed view onto this page. Now it's very simple and straightforward. The purpose of detail view is just so that we can, rather than zooming in, we can actually zoom in and place an extra view onto our drawing so that we can see up close on a part of the drawing that might not necessarily be clear from a distance. So to do that, we come up to this tab that says detail, and then a detail view that I'm going to look for is how these gears connect here. Okay, so to actually put my detail view in, I get my mouse, you can see I've got my arrow on it. I'm going to left click on the screen and you'll see a little dialog box open here. Now again, I can change the style or I can increase the scale, all stuff we can do later as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on the screen and I'm going to scroll away from the view that I'm looking for. Alright, I'm going to left click on the screen, and what I'm then going to see is I'm going to see a little image. Alright, so an enlarged image of the bit that I've selected. I'm going to left click on the screen there, and what we'll see here is we've got the letter D and we've got 2.1 on there. Okay, now if you come across to this image, you'll see that letter D there, and we can actually rotate that around so we can see it a little bit more clearly. Alright, so what that does is it takes a snapshot of that little area and it makes it a little bit larger, and we can even double click on this and we can make it even bigger. So we'll change that to 3, click OK, and then if we want to move that around again we can do that. So what this D tells us is that D tells us that it relates to this view. Now the reason it's gone straight to D and not to A, B or C is because at some other point in these drawings we've got views A, B and C. Okay, however, if this is the first detail view that you're going to put on, then it'll automatically default to A. Alright, so next job. I can annotate that if I want using the basic annotation tools, but for this activity I'm going to leave it as it is. The next job I'm going to do, I'm going to put what we call a section view on. Now to do that we come up to the place views tab and you'll see a little section view here. Okay, now as always if you hover over it, it'll give you a little bit of a description of what it actually does, that section view. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a section view that will allow me to see inside some of these components. Alright, so I'm going to select a section view, and I'm going to choose the view that I want to section, and then I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit more clearly. Okay, so I'm going to create a section view through this axle. So I'm going to left click on the screen, I'm going to drag away to take in whatever it is I'm looking for. I'm going to left click again, I'm going to right click on the keyboard, on the mouse, sorry, and I'm going to press continue. And if I move away from there, what you'll see is you'll see an additional view coming up on the screen. I'm going to left click on the screen. Okay, and again, if you can see that E and that E represent these E's up here. Alright, so I'm going to move that down a little bit. Okay, so what this section view does is it takes a snapshot of what's going on along that dotted line we can see. And these lines that are at an angle tell me that this is a section view. So if that EE went missing, then I'd still be able to tell what I'm looking at because it's got these dashed lines on. Okay, so we've got an additional view for detail, and we've got a section view which allows us to see what's going on inside the object. Now if for some reason, because this is projected against this view here, if for some reason I want to break that alignment, I can come up to this tab, select the break alignment. If I left click on there like so, what that will allow me to do is it'll allow me to drag that away. Okay, now at this point, this is when I can move and decide where I want it to go. Because as your drawings get busier, yeah, you'll have to move your images accordingly. Okay, so quick run through again. We've got our detail view by taking a little snapshot of a specific part that I want to look at in more detail, which again can be annotated. You can add dimensions to that, you can add notes. I've also got a section view here, so I'm taking a snapshot along a specific point, and which allows me to look inside my model and see what's going on there. Okay, again, detailed in section views. Hopefully they'll come in handy, and I look forward to seeing some of your works in. Bye bye.